All right. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. You're tuned in to Holla at the Success Scholar. I am the Success Scholar here. Haki, Ammi, Roland just don't want to stop the jam going on here, but let me thank everybody for tuning in and listening. And just before my show, you had the Roland Grimes Show. You can tune in each and every Monday, 7 to 8 p.m. with Coach Tanya. Man, they have a good time here at Everlasting Life, and I am broadcasting live here at 9185 Central Avenue in Capitol Heights, Maryland, at the Everlasting Life Vegan restaurant here. So I want to first thank everybody for tuning in, listening in to this phenomenal show, and just a lot of amazing things going on as I continue to allow and for people to come in here and let our people know. Just want to check that call in case I got a caller calling in. I'm not sure. But, yeah, so definitely a lot of amazing things. This is I broadcast here each and every Monday, 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, just a lot of amazing things has been going on with eLife Media. Had an awesome weekend. It was Malcolm X weekend in the DMV and all over the world, the country. And I was back here at eLife Media this Saturday for a few hours. There was a Malcolm X one-man show. The brother did that. And then I went to my Baltimore event that we held at Terra Cafe. So I'd like to thank everyone for coming out there for that. So,
Brother Key.
Yeah, man.
For a second.
Yeah,
I haven't had a chance to hold up, Bryce, before you leave.
What's going on, bro, Bryce?
To talk to you since we had the live event.
Yeah, come on.
What you think of it, man?
Well, yeah, it was great. And that's I mentioned it last week, but not too much. But yeah, so we had the live event, Brother Roland Grimes, way down in where I never drove before, but where I never drove before, down in Haki. Was that called
Indian Head, Maryland?
Damn, past Haki, Indian Head. So,
folks, it really isn't that long a drive. Ignore him.
Man, stop playing, Roland.
But your book. We had a chance to share your book with someone. What did you do?
Well, definitely, I appreciate that. So, Brother Roland got my book in the hands of the professor. I'm sorry, no, he's the coach of
head football coach
of the head football coach of Howard University, and so that was awesome. I appreciate that. That was a good opportunity because I got a little Eric Thomas in me, so I want to, we can make those connections. For those of me, I know Eric Thomas is a speaker, and he speaks to different collegiate and perhaps professional teams, I'm sure.
He speaks to everybody.
Yeah. So that's really great. And what's interesting is that the brother said that, the elder said that he has been reading Les Brown's books for years. So, and now I just say, okay, well, now you know about Les, and now you know about Dr. George Frazier, and now you know about me. So that's how this book was supposed to come out and do. So that's what, trying to make happen. So I just appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. So you got another date for the next one?
Tentatively July 8th.
Okay, July 8th.
We'll confirm it later if it happens.
All right, I think I'm in the...
But thank you for being a part of it, man.
Yeah,
that was a big thing, man.
Appreciate
that was real special.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. So, a lot of good things coming up here. We coming towards the end of the month. A couple more weeks, actually. I'll be here. You'll be here next week?
Yeah.
It's Memorial Day.
Man, I never leave.
Yeah, right. Of course. So, that... matter of fact, I was just thinking, how am I going to do it? So, yeah, I'm supposed to be heading down to South Carolina.
Now if you don't do a show, I won't be here. I mean,
No. I think I'm going to be here, too. So, I got to see how things flow. But we're going to be heading down to South Carolina for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, we'll be back Monday. So, we'll try to make that happen. Maybe we'll just kind of time it where we can stop right here in the evening. So, but yeah, a lot of good things going on. May have a guest or two calling in. I know Brother Lewfield said he may call in towards the end of the show. Brother Lewfield and Mama Nzinga, and I have pictures of the award ceremony that we did in Baltimore. Gave them 2 lovely awards to 2 of the Baltimore elders, and so that was really special. Give people their flowers while they're here. So, yeah, but I want to get into some discussion, but let me just do a little promotion. And if Coach Tanya want to stick around, if you got somewhere to go, you can get some mic. I got some free time. If you like, it's your call. It's your call. But I know you got important business things to do. But if you would like to stick around, just wanted to offer you that. So yeah, I got a few newspapers here that I was going to talk about because, Brother Roland, as I mentioned, there's an NNPA conference that's going to be coming to the Gaylord, and I had a significant amount of various media that came yesterday. Actually, one of the newspapers was there, and of course, Dr. Jared Ball is a professor at Morgan State in the media journalism department, and so that was a good, a great, awesome connection to have, and really just make those connections to these different medias. And so actually I'm in this one. This is called the National Black Unity News. I think did I give you one?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. All right. So we got to connect those dots. And so this is National Black Community Newspaper. And several people, Brother David Murphy used to run what was called the Baltimore Informer several years ago. And I used to take young people out, and we would sell them on the corners. So that was a lot of fun. Learned a lot about marketing from the grassroots level. So I got a little bit of experience from that. But David Murphy and Brother Bill Gooden, the editor is Dr. Barbara Watis, and business, several business expert. Kim Poole, I know her. She's a dancer. Okay. I haven't really got a chance to look at it. Zeke and Jerry. Okay, Steve Turner. And so, a lot of different businesses that are in here. But so National Black, I got a couple of these. This was just a promotional edition. But just coming up here, I know a lot of people may not necessarily read several, the newspaper nowadays.
Now, brother, you are fashioned from time to time to read almost 100 books in 1 year.
Right.
And this year, will you have the opportunity to do that as well?
No.
Or you can't?
No. And you know what? And I learned a lot from that. What Roland was saying is in terms of, how I position my life at a particular time where I read 100 books a year for 11 years. I was searching for knowledge. I wanted to kind of know stuff, so it was just there wasn't necessarily a rhyme or reason to the level of direction per se. So, just being older and wiser, I'm not, I don't live to tell people that they have to do all of that in a lifetime, but there's some core books that I've found that individuals could certainly read and, become, a better human being.
And I'll
Right.
share with you, some of the life-changing books that you read during that course. What were some of the ones that stick out in your mind?
Well, of course, there's, the cultural, historic literature that, that I think all persons of African descent, black people here, should partake in. Of course, many know of the miseducation of the Negro and, the autobiography of Malcolm X. Some would suggest that. There's I would say the Think and Grow Rich, a black choice, but there's 2 Think and Grow Riches that, that individuals certainly should read. As a Man Thinketh, the ISIS papers, many people deal with that. There's a brother here in D.C., Dr. Anthony Brada, who wrote Survival Steps for African Americans. So, Naeem Akbar, who's a prominent black psychologist who wrote the Visions for Black Men. So along those lines, but then, I'm really one to think about, what's going to round an individual, what's going to make an individual whole. And so, a lot of people want to deal in a lot of historic type of information, trying to find themselves, trying to find who they are. Well, after you find who you are, you still got to build something. You still got
to do something with what you are.
Right. Once you have a particular knowledge of self, you got to manifest something in, the physical, right? So that's where, I had to be able to assess, different individuals to say, okay, well, now that we have, reached a particular period or stage, what direction do we go in? So let's see. Well, we may have our brother on. Caller. So let's see if that is our brother. Who do we have on the line? Brother Josh?
Josh Myers.
Oh, great. Beautiful. Glad you got my message here. Well, I appreciate that. So I have on the line joining us here, brother who's been certainly doing a lot of tremendous work directly in the D.C. area as well as all over, but for sure in the D.C. area. And I saw him this Saturday previously, but I know him as a professor in ASCAC, local ASCAC member and perhaps president. You the president of local D.C., brother?
Oh no, we don't have a president.
Okay, well, you the man for right now, right? All right. So I know this brother from being a member of ASCAC and really pushing, a conscious black agenda, pushing the Pan-Africanist movement, and he was at a Malcolm X event with brother Bailey, who knew Malcolm at that particular time, and has several pieces, and he has been really speaking several places. I heard of him from brother Jared Ball and a few other individuals, but I saw him at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum maybe a few months ago. So, but you were there, brother. How was the energy? And first, welcome. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Yeah.
And thanks for participating with us. This past Saturday. I think it was a wonderful, beautiful event. It's not often that we have that mix of people,
right,
in DC in these particular moments. Highly Greenlands of the world, Peter Bailey's and Dory Landers and Chuck Hicks, just to name a few of the people who joined us, and not to mention, of course, Rodnell Collins, Malcolm X's nephew.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh, wow.
The son of Ella Collins.
Okay.
And so in that sense, it was a beautiful event.
Right.
It's Peter Bailey. Your listeners should know was Malcolm X's press secretary. He was the editor of the OAAU, the Organization of Afro-American Unity, newsletter called Blacklash. And so to be able to touch, someone who is, deeply invested and involved in not just the rhetorical work, but the organizational work of Malcolm is extremely important, particularly in this moment where a lot of our people embrace the rhetorical gestures of Malcolm, but don't realize he was also an organizer. He was also very much a scholar and a student. Many of the people who brought him in, or he organized the organization of Afro-American Unity with, were actually, people he looked up to. And so that's important to emphasize as well. I really enjoyed the event. We'll do some more stuff. The group Positive Black Folks in Action that put the event on, we have been doing Malcolm events for the past 2 years. We were charged with coming up with the 50th anniversary of his assassination. That event, which actually took place, of course, in the Malcolm and Betty Shabazz Center in New York. The actual Audubon Ballroom has been repurposed into a community center. And so we've been doing the anniversary of assassination, and we've been doing the birthday celebrations over the past 2 years. And we're going to do a lot more coming up. So be on the lookout for that.
Wow, wow, sounds good. So sounds good. So explain what that organization is again. I heard, the comment about providing safe spaces for conscious discussions, empowerment discussions.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, Mr. Bailey is the brains behind this, or
Okay.
it was his idea, and basically he wanted us to be able to be a hub to connect positive black folks with each other. And so we often, as he says, get the impression that there's nobody that's doing anything, and you know, you often hear that lament, right? Where are the good, what positive things that happen in our community? And so we, of course, don't believe that that's true. There always have been, and always will be positive things happening in our community. What we have to do is build the connections. And so this organization is really a place that people should ostensibly look to provide connections. And so if you're in Dallas and you don't know any conscious black organizations or positive black organizations, our organization will connect you to people in Dallas that's doing the work. Or if you move to Phoenix and, where the black people in Phoenix doing the work, well, our organization is going to create a database for people to know and connect with these kinds of groups of people with like minds, so you don't feel isolated and alienated in these particular spaces. And so that's really what it's about. And another function is, of course, to do events like we did this past Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Wow, wow, wow. Sounds good. Sounds good. So, for those who may not know, in terms of the OAAU, which Brother Bailey was a member at that time, explain that part, because we've been hitting on Malcolm for the past, I'd say, couple weeks, shall I say? So, I just want to get your opinion there.
Well, Malcolm created two organizations once he left the Nation of Islam.
Mm-hmm.
The Muslim Mosque Incorporated was one, and the other was the Organization of Afro-American Unity. And, the basic narrative is he was in a place after leaving the nation where he wanted to be directly involved in political organizing, which was, at least by the letter of the law, in terms of the Nation of Islam, was prohibited. And so this was his vehicle for that. He wanted to keep it, and it's important that he wanted to separate it from the religious part, and that's why he created a separate organization I call Muslim Mosque Incorporated. And so this was basically a vehicle for political black nationalism, and it was supposed to be, it was imagined to be an arm of broader human rights kind of narrative and anti-colonial, anti-imperial narrative that was emerging in the rest of the world. And so one of the big components of is international travel, and a lot of people miss this because they're committed to this narrative that Malcolm, softened his position once he came back into the United States from his international travels. Well, in reality, what he did was strengthen his position by making the Black American struggle connected to the struggles that Africans were having in the world. And so you see it in the name. The Organization of Afro-American Unity is basically a riff off the name of the Pan-African Organization of free African states called the Organization of African Unity. And so Malcolm, as my brother Bailey talked about this past Saturday, was trying to figure out what are the political interests of Black America vis-a-vis Africa and African liberation struggles. And that becomes part of this larger project to use African liberation struggles to leverage the United States in terms of its treatment of Africans here. And that, as is well known, there's a book by William Sales. Before the Marable book comes out, William Sales writes the book on Malcolm and the Organization of Afro-American Unity. And the idea was human rights as opposed to civil rights. And so a human rights kind of conversation that basically looks at being able to showcase to the world what is actually happening in the United States, and then leverage that for whatever gains we could receive on the international scale. It was really what Malcolm was trying to do. And in that sense, he was basically extending a legacy that goes back to Paul Robeson and William Patterson and W.E.B. Du Bois, who sought to do the same thing in the wake of the creation of the United Nations in 1945. So that's how I would situate the Organization of Afro-American Unity.
Yes.
And importantly, it is connected to other formations of the 1960s that we often don't talk about, like the Revolutionary Action Movement, and those types of organizations that were really thinking about human rights, but also thinking about anti-imperialism, thinking about this notion of internal colonialism, and being able to link African liberation struggles to what was happening in Black America.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, we're going to go to a quick break, brother. I'm gonna come back, and we can keep you for another probably 10 minutes, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely, brother.
All right. We're going to go to a quick break, and we're going to come right back. All right. We are back. Here at the Holler at the Success Scholar, here at elifemedia.net. And I have on the line with me Brother Dr. Josh Myers, professor at Howard University. And what do you teach there, brother?
I teach, what I would consider Africana intellectual history.
Okay.
The major courses that I teach are 19th century Black social and political thought, 20th century Black social and political thought, Black thought in the diaspora,
yes.
And related courses like that. I also teach a course, the basic introduction to Africana studies.
Right.
In that course, we get a lot of freshmen and first-year students.
Okay.
And so that's always important because we want to set the foundation on the right path before they really get to their majors. Give them a sense of a way of looking at the world that is grounded in Africana. Right. And so that's what I teach in the Africana Studies Department, and probably going to be teaching some different things. I have a little flexibility, so that's a good thing. And so we kind of have a dynamic process at Howard.
Right. Yes. So how is in terms of the dynamics of just the teaching at Howard? Like the what I'm trying to say is, there's always these discussions around what is authentic African-centered scholars, or like my understanding that sometimes there are these the conversations we have at ASCAC about our elders, our ancestors, Dr. John Henry Clark, and the Dr. Ben and Asa Hilliards of the world, and Cheka and Diop, in terms of the institutional process. And I know that perhaps you have the flexibility, but in terms of the curriculums, could you describe? In terms of, do you have like autonomy over like the curriculum that you establish? Or is that like the dean that establishes that, or is it negotiated?
I would say yes. We have the ability to take the course description and then populate it with kind of the approaches to Africana studies that come from the African Center movement. I think college curricula have that ability, but on another level, our chair, Greg Carr at Howard University,
Right.
and as you know, he comes out directly from that African Center tradition. So we were situated strategically in order to actually do what you're actually describing and build the space to kind of imagine what an African Center college education would actually look like at one of the most important HBCUs in the country. And so all of that was a strategic move, and I think I'm very blessed to be part of it. Sometimes I have to pinch myself a little bit because, this is not happening in very many places, especially HBCUs.
Right.
And when it is happening, those scholars are very isolated. We actually have a team of about 6 scholars that are really grounded in African Center tradition, and our students benefit from that.
Yes, well, Brother Carr has been doing tremendous work over the years, and so we definitely appreciate his work over the year. Is Brother, oh man, what's his name? Quan Cito, what's his name? Keto Quan? Is he, where
Keto
is he?
Swan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Swan, where is he? What is he?
He's at Howard.
Yeah.
He's in the history department.
Okay.
And so we have our department, then we have people that are very much connected to the tradition in other departments, like Brother Keto Swan, our Brother Kemet Shockley.
Oh, Dr. Kimmett. Yeah, okay. All right.
We have a lot of folks at Howard now. It's a really good environment.
Man, he's a powerful brother. Yeah. I think I still got his number. I haven't talked to him in a while, but we had lunch, maybe 2 years ago. So 3 years ago. But but I'm glad you mentioned him. So yeah, man.
Not to mention elders. You have a lot of elders that still doing the work over at Howard, like Baba Jules Sorrell, psychology. And so it's a good one to shout out. Plus Holly Garima, the film is still.
Oh, right. What does Professor Garima film or?
Yeah, he's a film instructor.
Right. Okay. Oh, that's right. That's beautiful. Yeah, Sankofa is a jewel. I always stop through every time. We come through DC. Is like one of the only spots I come through, even if it's just to gather intel, see what updated books or DVD, or worst case, at least I could do is get a smoothie.
Absolutely.
Right. So try to keep a good health going on. So yeah, man. So
it's becoming an oasis now in the desert of gentrification.
Yeah. Yeah, here they got a Wegmans coming and a Wawa. So there's this documentary. Matter of fact, brother, man, it's been like 3 months now that in Southeast, a brother came out with a film called Gentrified. I know some folks in DC got a film related or to gentrification, but this was a very unique analysis. And part of it, they said something about when that what was it? Man, what's that? Man, what's that? Whole Foods is coming. That your area they are gentrifying that area. So how's that movement, and what should black people should be looking at doing?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So what else got you going on, brother? I know you're working with some of the young people. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Well, I think one of my projects that I'm prioritizing is a project that's in collaboration with the SNCC Legacy Project.
Okay.
The SNCC Legacy Project was created in 2010 on the 50th anniversary of the sit-in protests. And as you know, many of those student activists will become the young guards of the Black Power movement.
Right.
And so what they've done over the last year and a half is created what is called the Black Power Chronicles. And Black Power Chronicles is an attempt to wrest control of the narrative about the meaning and structure of Black Power from those historians who kind of reduced it to a kind of a narrative about inclusion and diversity. And part of what we're doing with this is We're actually going to major cities and doing oral histories, intensive oral histories. And what we're going to do with those oral histories are going to create education materials, archival materials, and hopefully some documentary films that basically tell Black Power through the eyes of the people that actually lived and experienced it, and removing that kind of curatorial presence away from the narrative and letting the ancestors, the elders, speak for themselves. And so I'm working on the DC Black Power Chronicles, and so over the summer we're going to interview about 15 to 20 elders in the movement. In fact, tomorrow or Wednesday, I'm actually interviewing 2 elders. And so be on the lookout for that, because one of the things we have to do is make sure the story of Black Power is told beyond the kind of iconography of the fists and the afros and the leather jackets, because it was much more substantive than that.
Right.
And so that's one of the major projects that I'm working on. And I'm also doing 2 book projects at present. And so really busy, but it is what it is. It's what you got to do.
Right.
You're not busy, there's something wrong.
All right. Well, definitely, brother. Well, I appreciate your time, brother. Just wanted to get a little, kind of quick interview with you and, have you update us. I've been, seeing your work for years and, working with the young brothers, the young scholars there at Howard. So, I had the opportunity to do some work in a school of business there, not formally, but, kind of came in with another brother and, we did some workshops sometimes. So it's always good to, have that, somebody that have that direct access that's really, giving that true consciousness, that centeredness, that African spirit that, they need to have that foundation, that well-roundedness, so that, when they get out there in the world, they know who they are and, what's going on. Just like, unfortunately, brother, in College Park, a young Black man that did, he was Bowie State, getting ready to graduation tomorrow, and he was killed by, old, redneck, little dirty European, and call it like it is. I mean, but it's a reality that this young man did everything he was supposed to do in that sense. But I mean,
there's a real violence to white supremacy.
Yes,
that is often reduced to again
yes.
a rhetorical gesture, but it's never been just rhetoric with us. It's always been a question of life and death.
Yes,
and I think we, in this particular moment, need to make sure that we understand and clarify that when we resist, we're resisting because it means the difference between life and death.
Right.
And it's not, just a little social media battle that we get in. Or it's not, an argument or a debate at the barbershop. No, this is life and death we're talking about. And I think that story brings that home in real ways, because who was this European inspired by? It was literally the rhetoric that was actually happening on online spaces. He was part of a Facebook group, and then he went out and goes and murders and stuff. And so there's something to be said about that. We need to fortify our communities and be able to make sense of white supremacy in ways that we protect it, but also that we actually build a world where white supremacy can actually be eradicated. And that's really where I am with this and how I'm thinking about this.
That's it. Yeah, for sure, brother. Well, I salute you, brother, and you stay on the front line. Keep up the good work, brother.
Thank you, brother. All right. And my apologies for being late.
Oh, no problem, brother. We got it in. That was beautiful. Appreciate you, bro. All right, man.
All right,
peace. All right, thanks. Cool. All right, we may have our brother Lou Fields calling on, our awardee, but before we get that was brother Dr. Josh Myers. As you heard, he's a professor at Howard University the History School, teaching history and African history and political thought there. So just to let everybody know, of course, there's this Maryland Minority Business Directory. Lou Fields can maybe talk more about that. And I just saw some, I got some, newspapers, and I wanted to read several stories. I may get Brother Lou in, but if not, and I'm really paying attention more to the press. Coming up at the Gaylord is the NNPA conference, as I mentioned. So I really wanted to talk a little bit about, for instance, let me kind of just look at some of the stories in the Informer. Well, first, I wanted to talk about this. Mel Franklin, Councilman Mel Franklin, Prince George's County Councilman Mel Franklin, District 9 of Upper Marlboro, pleaded guilty Friday, May the 12th, to driving under the influence from a crash in November that injured 2 people. All right. Now, he had a blood alcohol. Wait a minute. He got to go to a 12-week education program, and he got out of the car and walked away after the injury. After he hit the car. Now, he also was, he's a lawyer, community activist, served in the council area in the South County in December 2010. And I knew of him, from some years. I used to reside in the Brandywine area. And so I became aware of him during that time with the Young Democrats. And, it's really unfortunate that we get caught up in the poisons, the traps that are out here, even, for instance, the previous, county executive, and not this one. Well, yeah, the last one getting caught, with his wife stuffing money down her bra, money in her panties, or whatever the hell it was, But Jack Johnson, right? And prior to that, it's just like, I mean, we got to watch, the things that we do, particularly when we in a certain position. It's like, I mean, you don't have room to air. So, but I think I may have my other brother on, but I saw there was a documentary up in at the Maryland Film Festival, and I'm not sure if this is the documentary, but HBCUs, have they always mattered to the black community? I think it was some documentary that was out. I did not see it, but there's a story in this May 18th and 24th edition of the Informer, the DC Informer. I have the Baltimore Times here as well, but haven't had chance to read this article. But I have my other guest on the line, Brother Lou Fields.
By any means necessary.
All right. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming out, of course, and accepting your award. Appreciate that. And man, Brother Lou Fields out of Baltimore, African Tourism Council, and he's an author as well. So tell people about your book, Brother Lou, and the tourism industry or in Baltimore, if you will. But I know you all over the state of Maryland as well.
Yeah, the first thing is to give thanks for this wonderful Malcolm X Legacy Award.
Yes, sir.
But it's surely honor to get anything named after Malcolm X.
Right.
And so the work that I've done is try to teach and share African American history and culture, particularly local history, because I believe the young people coming up in the neighborhood, West Baltimore, East Baltimore, it's great that they would know about the big name African American heroes and heroes that we have. But it's just as critically important that they know about the people who live in the same block and neighborhood they lived in. When you think about recently, I spoke to a very accomplished professional African American woman, and I said to her on my show, May 25th, thank you for being my co-host on the BDX Live Thursday talk show, and I told her for May 25th, this coming Thursday, we were going to do a show on Lily Carroll Jackson.
Mm.
The lady said, well, I got a lady named Marcia Griffin, small business owner, who wants to be on the show. Can you interview her? I said, sure. But I said, ask her to brush up on Lily Carroll Jackson, because that's the focus of the show. Not that she has to be the conversation on Lily Carroll Jackson, but if you're going to be on the May 25th show with Lily Carroll Jackson, you need to know who she is. And the, not Marcia Griffin, but the lady who referred me to Marcia said, well, Louis, in an email, who is Lily Carroll Jackson? And that kind of question begs us to teach our young people the local history of the community in which they come. Now, if the adults don't know it, then people like you and I, Haki, we got to write the books and get the books and put the books in front of them. So the book I wrote is Maryland Black Facts.
Mm.
And this kind of book could be written in any city in America or any place in the world, because it tells about the achievements and the contributions of African Americans in Maryland. And so it could be Tennessee, it could be anywhere, but it's important, I believe, for the 88,000 young people that go to school in Baltimore City every day to know who Lily Carroll Jackson was, to know who Perrin J. Mitchell was, to know these giants who made national impact. It came from their own neighborhood. So that's what I wrote a book about. It's a calendar book for children to look up their month, their birthday, and find local history.
Yeah, that's important. That's important. Now, in terms of, like, the tourism in the Black community and, institutions within our community.
What was your question again?
In terms of, tourism and the institutions
tourism,
within
sorry.
our community,
Now,
getting a piece of...
the way I got to the book is through tourism.
Right.
Because once you get involved in the $800 billion tourism industry and you decide to go out into a niche market, like the African American segment of the big $800 billion tourism industry, you begin to see a couple of things. One, African Americans spend anywhere between $50 and $90 billion a year on travel and tourism. And then you look at, well, what do they do? They shop, they dine, they wine, they go to festivals, big concerts, because that's what you do when you go out of town. But then a lot of people say, well, I want to go to a black museum. I want to go to that black neighborhood I heard about in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I want to find out where was Rosewood down there in Florida. What is historic Harlem in New York? What is Pennsylvania Avenue in Baltimore? Where is 2nd Street in Richmond? Where is Beale Street in Memphis? People want to know about this history they heard about. Like you and I, when we travel, if we go to Detroit, surely they might send us to Greektown, but sooner or later we're going to say, where's Blacktown? Where's Motown? You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that's what tourism does. Creates a lot of jobs, creates billions of dollars in taxes and revenue, but it also gets people to want to find the everyone's place. The brother said, Dr. Ball said he was in the Navy and found a book that had an imprint that came from Baltimore, everyone's place. So tourism, to me, touches on so many aspects of our lives. And it's a great revenue generator and a great job creator. And as a small business, if you can provide some type of service to tourists, you can expand your company. For example, we have Terra Cafe in Land of Kush.
Right.
Let's say you got 10,000 people coming in WCP, and some of those people say, well, we are vegans. We want to go to a vegetarian. We want to eat healthy.
Right.
But right away, Land of Kush will get some business if they can be connected. Because a lot of our businesses are not in the downtown central part of tourism places, like in a harbor, Baltimore. 10,000 people, and you got 500 who want to go to a vegetarian restaurant where they can't find an African-American-owned vegetarian restaurant in downtown Baltimore. But right up the street a little bit, in Mount Vernon, is the Land of Kush.
Right.
So tourism connects the Land of Kush to that tourist who's looking for that experience. And that's why it's so important that we not only share the history, the new Harriet Tubman Museum in Cambridge, or the new National Museum of African American Christian Culture in D.C.
Mm-hmm.
People come, they want to see these things. So what we have to do is provide the infrastructure to ensure that our visitors are going to have a great experience and don't have to feel like Baltimore is not safe. I can't get around. I can't get places because I don't have a car. And I don't know where to go. I don't know who to see.
Mm-hmm.
So every city has a person like me, a tour guide company, escort, and we show you the African American part of your city. Now, next Thursday, not next Thursday, but the third Thursday on my show, Haki, the third Thursday from now, which will be June 8th,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to have a national tourism discussion with brothers from the West Coast, East Coast, Baltimore, D.C., and we'll be talking among ourselves for people to listen in to hear what the brothers in tourism, black tourism, are doing in the West Coast.
Now you said what date that is?
Up in New York and in Baltimore.
You said what date that is?
That's going to be June 8th show.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to do that.
I knew.
Huh?
I knew.
I thought I was supposed to do that one. You said.
Well, you're supposed to be there because I have.
Okay.
I have to go to a workshop from 10 to 12. I'm going to try to get up there at 11:15 and run back from Annapolis to be in the show by 12. But I need my backup, man.
Okay.
I'm 2 minutes late.
All right. That's cool. All right.
But the key to that is, with these talk shows, we can feed good data to our listening audience.
Right.
And people can call in and share their data.
Okay.
So think about tourism all over the country, all over the nation, all over the Caribbean islands, all over Africa. By internet or an app on June 8th, we can have a round table discussion with the top blacks in tourism across this country. I know all of them. They're all my homies.
Wow. People. Wow, sound like a powerful show, man. I'm definitely looking forward to that, opportunity.
But I know what I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah.
Is the George Fraser Power Networking Conference coming to Maryland this year?
Yeah. No, it's July 4th through the 6th.
But did you say July?
Yeah.
We didn't have no data on that. That should be ringing the media waves in Baltimore right now.
You said it should be in the media?
Yeah. I could be announcing on my show. We could announce it last Saturday when we had all that media there.
Well, what's interesting, I mean, for whatever reason, Dr. Fraser doesn't believe that...
I need a little more volume. Can you get some more volume on this thing?
Okay, no, I'll speak closer to the mic. I'm sorry. That conversation came up before, I've asked Dr. Fraser in terms of a radio show in the D.C. area.
But the other thing I hope you'll work on is, like I mentioned, that after the National Newspaper Publishers Association, the Black Press, meets over there in D.C., Prince George's County, that we will have a post in NPA sit down with black media over there at the Morgan School of Journalism.
Yeah.
Dr. Ball and that crew.
Yeah.
Because we got to empower ourselves to know that the good news that our community needs, we're the ones that can get it to them.
Right. Well, that's needed. And I'm definitely that was a awesome suggestion. So, like I said, I'm a sacrifice. I know it's at the Gaylord, but I'm like, somebody gotta kind of be there, to.
Yeah, you get on down to the Gaylord, but send Dr. Ball a note and tell him that perhaps he and I can meet.
Yeah.
And we can put together a one-day media seminar at Morgan.
Yes.
Post NNPA down there.
Wow, that's definitely needed. So I will definitely.
And I'll try to get down there for one day. Maybe one day I can get down there.
Yeah. They got some just where individuals can come to a lunch or,
So you got to get me the schedule, man. And so this is what I'm talking about. We have the black media, so these things should be posted and blasted through the media we do control.
Right. I agree. Yes, absolutely.
So who you got listening tonight, man? This is like people all over the country listening in?
All over the world, bro.
Give a shout out, hotep to my sisters and brothers, no matter where you might be. We all black like me. I just want y'all to know, together we gonna win. Together we win.
Yeah, right.
We work together. Anybody listening, no matter what city, what state you're in,
Right.
find somebody like Haki or me in the city you're going to, connect. And let's lay down our own master plan. Because when like minds connect, we can solve our own problems.
Right. Yes, indeed.
That's real.
Yeah, for sure. So we definitely can make those things happen, brother. So I definitely appreciate you, chiming in here for a couple minutes here with us. And so we just if you got any thing you want to put out, any events or anything coming up, of course the show.
The last thing I got, man, is on Thursdays, your guys, Thursday 12 noon to 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Tune in to BDX Live, and that's Thursdays 12 noon. If you're in the Baltimore area, it's 10 a.m. But if you're not in Baltimore, listen online at WOLBbaltimore.com or just tap that app, WOLB, and get ready. Baltimore going to be booming with the NAACP conference.
Yeah.
Then we're going to have the Caribbean conference right after that. Then we're going to have our African American Heritage Festival right after that.
The Caribbean,
July,
the Caribbean.
We're going to be having it going on.
Wait a minute. So what's those dates? I know the Caribbean is the 15th, July 15th.
Now, we kick it off with the Caribbean Carnival first. That's July 15th and 16th, Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
Then we come right behind that with the Afro Conference, the brothers coming in. And then we hit right behind that with the NAACP Conference, the 22nd through 26th. And right before that, we squeeze in Artscape, a big festival. But then the second Saturday in August, we do the AFRAM, the African American Heritage Festival.
Yes. Yeah.
This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
This is what black folk are doing in Baltimore.
Yeah. I'm
Don't
trying
believe
to
the hype. We're doing some things.
So I'm trying to, I'm making some connections, with the mayor's office, with potentially.
Okay, good brother.
Yeah.
I'm going to tune in and catch y'all later. But around the country, we stick together, we win.
All right, brother. So I appreciate you calling in, bro. We'll be in touch.
Good work.
Thank you. All right. So we're going to close out here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, listening in. Holla at the Success Scholar. I am the Success Scholar, Haki Ammi. Tune in to get my book at successscholarhaki.com. Lots of good things going to be going on over the next few weeks, getting a lot of knowledge and really focusing my efforts. And so if you need a speaker, presenter, moderator, definitely reach out for me. I've been trained by both these gentlemen, Les Brown and Dr. George C. Frazier. They taught me everything that I know. So you can expect a great and magnificent things coming from me. All right. So I'm out, y'all. Till next week. Peace.